So it's been a while since I have filmed a video, so I apologize if I'm a bit out of practice. In case you could see my cat or hear him, I apologize for him too. He likes to be involved. I thought today, just to kick off filming again, that I would just film a little rambling video, get to play with some random triggers, and kind of catch you up on my life for the past 11 months or so, since I've been a little bit MIA. You may notice I look a little different. I always wanted to have pink hair, so I finally did that. So I look a little bit different than the last time you guys saw me, but I enjoy it. I hope you guys do too. I kind of themed my outfit around it a little bit, as you do when you get a new hair color. I don't think I ever introduced you to my previous cat, but one of the reasons I stopped filming last year, 2021, it's 2022 now, which is hard to believe, was because the cat I had at the time, his name was Jacques. It's actually a pretty good trigger word. Jacques. But he started getting really sick back in January of 2021, which is when I stopped uploading. And unfortunately, he did end up passing away. He was very old, so it was kind of to be expected. He was 18 years old when he died. Funny enough, it was actually a year to the day that his sister had passed away, back in 2020. So, since he started getting sick, I started paying more attention to him and less attention to this, and once you fall off the bandwagon, it's a little bit harder to get back on again. But, anyway, we have a new cat now. His name's Gomez, and he's younger. He's only 2, so he's a bit of a terror still. But we love him. We love him. Actually, one of my first triggers that I brought along, it's all very randomized today, is when Jacques passed away. We went to a crystal shop in our local town here, and we wanted something to remember him by. So we got this little orange heart. I'll take out of the bag a little bit here and you can see it better, but I kind of like the sound the bag makes as well. We ended up getting 2, actually. One for my husband and one for me. One is the color of his eyes, and one is the color of his fur. The one I have here is the color of his fur. In case you can't quite tell, it's orange. Let me take it out and I'll show you. Can always play with the bag on its own too, right? So this is what we found. There weren't very many orange crystals. Funny enough. I'm not a big crystal guru. I honestly can't even remember what this one's called. But we'd been there a few times before and we enjoyed looking at all of the items, so when we were driving past we thought we would stop back in and get a little something, and that's what we ended up finding. They came in the shape of a heart, which was quite appropriate, and this one Reminds me a lot of what his fur looked like. Gomez, in case you did see him jumping off the bed earlier, he is black. If he comes back in, we can introduce each other. But he has black fur with a little white chest bit here. He also has a one white toe, which results in a pink toe bean as well on his back foot. It's quite adorable. But he's a bit of a troublemaker. I couldn't lock him out of the room, though, because he will scratch at the door. And I didn't think that would be very helpful in the background. You may also notice that I have a different backdrop right now. That is because unfortunately the last backdrop I had when I stopped filming, it did end up falling off the wall. It was held up with some command hooks and a curtain rod. One of the command hooks fell and the rest was history. So, it is no longer on the wall, and I could have hung it back up, but my husband and I, we are planning on hopefully buying our first house soon. Wish us luck. Market's a little bit insane right now. But we started packing up a lot of things that we don't use regularly, and that was one of them. So, unfortunately, this was the only wall I could find in our very small apartment. Sorry. In our very small apartment that would be acceptable as a filming location. I know it's not quite as cozy as what I had before, but hopefully you don't mind too much. I hope that pretty soon we're going to find a place and I'll be able to have a more permanent setup again. Let's see. I found this at the store the other day. And it is just so pretty. I had to buy it. And the texture, it just seemed like it makes some really fun sounds. And since I have made it my New Year's resolution to get back to this channel more, I bought it. Now, of course, use it for things other than ASMR. I will be using it for drinking out of course. Brought me a little bit of joy when I saw it at the store. I thought you guys might enjoy it as well. But yeah, I guess there's not a whole lot more to say except I missed you guys. 2021 was a bit of a rough year. A lot happened between losing Jacques and eventually finding Gomez, and that was a transitionary process, let me tell you. Going from an 18-year-old cat who enjoyed napping to a 2-year-old cat who has boundless energy. That was definitely a time. But it's gone well. We've all adjusted to each other just fine. And then summer was very, very busy. For those of you who are married, you may know, having 2 families creates twice as many events, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on who you ask. But it takes up a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a little bit of money. So there were multiple trips involving camping and going to the lake, going to water parks, things like that, with nephews and nieces and cousins. Kept us very busy. But it was very fun, very exhausting. My health started to decline a little bit from everything that was going on. I suppose I don't think I've mentioned this in any past videos. A lot of them have been more trigger focused than get to know me focused. But I have an autoimmune disorder called rheumatoid arthritis. I was diagnosed when I was pretty young, around 8 or 9 years old. It affects my joints, and too much activity can cause flare-ups. But I'm trying to get back on track with that again as well. Sorry, I set that on the table and I think it was a little loud. I'll show you a couple things we got on our trips though. This one, actually I want you to see kind of up close. I'm gonna bring it a little bit closer for you. I hope you can see that okay. Hope it doesn't mess with my focus too much. But it's a dragon eye, and it is a little container. Got this on a trip with my husband's family. We did a little Magic Quest adventure. And at the end there's a gift shop. And this was just too pretty to pass up. And I have not decided what I'm going to put in it. It's been several months. But I'm sure there's something that'll fit in there. It's just, I like dragons a lot. And I like the color purple. And it also makes some very nice sounds. I forget which ASMR artist it is that I follow. I think it might be GB ASMR, who once explained different ASMR sounds as being wet or dry. I would say this has a very, very dry sound. But I find myself more drawn to those. I like tapping and scratching and things of that sort, more so than mouth sounds or lotion sounds or a variety of other quote-unquote wet sounds. But that's not to say I don't intend to branch out a bit with the triggers that I post on my channel. In fact, I do take requests. If you comment or if you message me on my Instagram, I have plans to film another video very soon. That was requested by a follower. I did a lighter play video last year. Well, I guess 2020 now. So, not last year. Where I played with lighters and flame sounds and stuff like that. And the follower requested I do a part 2. So, keep an eye out for that. I believe this video should be going up first though, since I do need to say hello and kind of tell you guys what I've been up to and where I've been and what's been going on in my life. This is another souvenir that I picked up on a trip. It was a historical site. I think it was in the Civil War. Yeah. So they have, old-fashioned things like, you see this is 1877 on it. You probably can't tell from over there, but I'll tell you what it says. And it's supposed to be a 1 cent penny, I suppose. It's just a small $1 souvenir. It costs more than 1 cent. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that was summer. It was pretty busy. Packed with activities. And then in the fall, things got very, very crazy at my day job. I don't have a night job. But I do work a regular 40-hour work week. And things were pretty crazy because the company I work for was bought out. And there's a lot of changes, a lot of turnover. In fact, I wasn't allowed to take any PTO for about 2 months there because they couldn't afford for that to happen. It's unfortunate, but I'd taken more than enough over the summer. But it was very stressful. It was. I watched. I'm not sure what that was. I don't know if you could hear that. I'm sorry. Probably one of the neighbors. But yeah, the takeover that happened at work was pretty stressful for me. There was a lot going on, and we're just coming out the other end of it now, all these months later. But with everything cooling down, I want to get back into doing something that relaxes me, something that brings me joy and makes me happy. And my brother, for Christmas, he actually got me this new tripod setup that you're set up on. It's not the fanciest thing in the world. It's a pretty basic ring light on a tripod. But it's easier than setting my phone up on a pile of books. So I appreciate it. I do film on my phone as well, which is why I can't really see if I'm in focus or anything like that. But I hope you can see me okay. I took a couple of test shots with the lighting and everything to make sure I was in frame before I started, and I hope it worked. I got a couple more triggers here. I suppose I kind of ran through my whole 2021 in 4 triggers. But I also have this. This was gifted to me by a friend of mine who knows I enjoy cats. It's supposed to be a little hot plate, I guess. Kind of place to put your hot pads, like pans and pots and things like that. But I really like wood sounds. Scratching and tapping and everything. I thought I would throw it in there since I'm kind of doing whatever. I'm trying to get back into the feel of doing ASMR and not just listening to it. It's 2 very different experiences. I never stopped watching ASMR. Not really. I watched it a little bit less. I didn't have as much time for it. I didn't have time for anything YouTube related, really. But I did miss it a lot, and I would watch ASMR every so often, at least once or twice a week. It helped me fall asleep with all the stress in my life. It's different being on the other side of the camera again. It is quite relaxing. Just making sounds and listening. And, I don't know, just kind of rambling. Yeah, that was my year, I guess. My cat got sick, passed away, and I grieved for a while. But there's a lot of cats in the world who need love. So we started looking at shelters for some cat. Since we still had that space in our hearts to fill. Not that we could ever replace Jacques, of course. But we have love to give, and we wanted to give it elsewhere, instead of just devoting it to grief. Oh, what's that quote? I think it was from Vision. From Marvel. Obviously. He said, "What is grief, if not love persevering?" And I really love that. I thought that was a wonderful quote. But eventually found Gomez. Went through a transitionary period there. Had a very, very busy summer. A very stressful fall. And a very interesting holiday season. All while somehow not getting COVID. I've been very lucky. I've got all my vaccines and everything. With my autoimmune disorder, I kind of got it as soon as I could. I've been very fortunate. I think I should probably wrap this video up though. I have a few other things I need to get to. But I just wanted to catch up with you guys a little bit. And say hi. Say I missed you guys. Let you know that I didn't just ghost you all for no reason. Life just gets busy and crazy. But it's nice to be back. Let me know what you think of my very well-designed backdrop. Let me know if you liked any of these triggers. I can always do more videos with any of them if they're a particular favorite of yours. Yeah. Definitely let me know if there's anything you want to see, because I am taking the time to film. It is something that I want to get back into, and if I run out of ideas, it is helpful for you guys to let me know what you would like to see. I think that's about it. It's been nice catching up with you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day or evening, wherever you are.